It started like any ordinary evening in the quiet town of Crestwood. The sun was setting behind rows of maple trees, children's laughter echoing softly from playgrounds, and neighbors tending to their gardens or chatting over fences. The streets were peaceful, the kind of calm that settles deep into a community where everyone knows your name. But by the next morning, the Holloway family, Mark, Lisa, and their two children, Emma and Jacob, had vanished without a trace. No signs of forced entry, no struggles, no ransom notes. Just a perfectly normal home, eerily silent and abandoned. Mark Holloway was a man who seemed to have it all: a successful career as a businessman, a charming demeanor that earned him respect, and a family that appeared picture-perfect. Lisa, his wife, was adored by the town's school children and parents alike, known for her warmth and dedication as a teacher. Emma and Jacob, just 8 and 5 years old, were the bright lights of the neighborhood, always seen playing outside or biking down the sidewalks. The Holloways were considered a model family, the type that made others envious and proud. So when they disappeared, it sent shockwaves through Crestwood. How could an entire family just vanish from their home, leaving everything behind as if they never planned to return? The local police were initially called in for a welfare check after Mark failed to show up for an important meeting and Lisa missed her morning class. Upon entering their home, officers found no clues. The family car remained parked in the driveway, the dinner dishes still warm on the kitchen counter, and no personal belongings missing. Phones, wallets, even Emma's favorite stuffed bear were all left untouched. Initial searches around the neighborhood found nothing suspicious. No signs of forced entry, no witnesses who saw or heard anything unusual. The only strange detail was reported by a neighbor who claimed to have heard muffled voices arguing late into the night, a low, tense exchange between a man and woman, punctuated by a sudden, loud door slam. But beyond that, the mystery deepened. As the days wore on, the community's unease grew. Local news covered the story extensively, and the Holloway disappearance became the subject of heated speculation. Was this a carefully orchestrated kidnapping? Had the family staged an elaborate escape? Or was something far more sinister at play? Digging deeper into the Holloways' lives, investigators uncovered cracks beneath their perfect facade. Mark Holloway's business dealings were scrutinized, revealing a web of high-stakes investments and risky ventures. Unpaid debts, ominous emails hinting at threats, and late-night meetings with unidentified individuals pointed toward mounting pressure on Mark's shoulders. Meanwhile, Lisa's closest friends revealed she had confided fears about someone watching her family and unsettling incidents that she didn't want to disclose publicly. Further examination of phone records showed multiple calls between Mark and an unknown number in the weeks before their disappearance. When detectives traced the number, they found it linked to a figure known for involvement in underground criminal networks. Suddenly, what seemed like a routine family case took on a chilling edge. Was Mark's business a front for illegal activities? Were the Holloways targeted because of what Mark knew or owed? The town's residents grew suspicious, their friendly smiles replaced by whispered doubts and glances over shoulders. People who had once admired the family now wondered if there were secrets hidden behind closed doors. Some neighbors recalled seeing strange vehicles parked near the Holloway home at odd hours. Others mentioned unfamiliar faces lurking in the shadows. A pattern of intimidation seemed to emerge, but no one was willing to come forward openly. Months later, the investigation took a breakthrough turn when a local hiker stumbled upon an abandoned cabin deep in the nearby woods. The cabin was dilapidated but showed signs of recent occupation. Among scattered belongings were children's toys covered in dust, a faded family photograph, and a cryptic note scrawled hastily on a torn piece of paper. Trust no one. They're closer than you think. The discovery raised more questions than answers. How did the Holloways end up there? Were they being held captive, or had they taken refuge? The FBI was brought in, expanding the case with resources and expertise far beyond the local police department's capabilities. Surveillance footage from security cameras in the area was re-examined, revealing shadowy figures lurking near the Holloway residence days before the family disappeared. One frame showed a black van parked suspiciously close to their driveway late at night. Interviews with former business associates and acquaintances exposed allegations of blackmail, coercion, and even threats on Mark's life. A confidential informant hinted at a criminal syndicate that had infiltrated local government and law enforcement, capable of silencing anyone who posed a threat to their operations. Despite the mounting evidence, tangible leads remained frustratingly scarce. Witnesses disappeared, records went missing, and key pieces of evidence were dismissed on technicalities. The system meant to protect the Holloways seemed, at times, to protect their adversaries instead. For the family's friends and neighbors, frustration turned into fear. If such powerful forces were involved, could anyone truly feel safe? The Holloway case became a symbol of the invisible dangers lurking beneath small-town America's calm exterior, a grim reminder that appearances can deceive, and that even the closest-knit communities are not immune to darkness. Years have passed since that fateful evening, and the Holloway family remains missing. The case is still open, the pain still fresh for those left behind. Their story serves as a haunting caution. Sometimes, the most shocking disappearances happen not in distant cities or war zones, but right next door, hidden behind a veneer of normalcy. The discovery of the abandoned cabin had breathed new life into the investigation, but it also cast a long shadow over what the authorities could actually uncover. Inside that decaying shelter, those few remnants, the children's toys, the faded family photo, and that cryptic note, were silent witnesses to a story far more sinister than anyone had imagined. But the Holloways themselves? They were nowhere to be found. Detective Sarah Reynolds was assigned as the lead investigator after the FBI's involvement. A veteran in missing persons cases, she had a reputation for relentless pursuit of the truth, even when it meant challenging powerful interests. From the start, Sarah sensed that the Holloway case was not just another disappearance. It was tangled in a web of corruption, deceit, and hidden dangers. Reynolds began revisiting every thread, digging into Mark Holloway's business empire with fresh eyes. His company, Holloway Enterprises, was supposed to be a legitimate player in the local real estate market, but the deeper she delved, the more skeletons she found. Shell companies, untraceable financial transfers, and offshore accounts pointed to money laundering on a scale that suggested Mark was more than a businessman. He was involved with the criminal underworld. Meanwhile, Lisa Holloway's background also revealed unsettling clues. Although she was beloved as a teacher, some colleagues reported strange behavior in the weeks leading up to the disappearance. Lisa had started keeping her students' parents at arm's length, canceled meetings, and appeared constantly anxious. She confided to a close friend that she feared for her family's safety, but refused to say more. The couple's marriage, once seen as the town's cornerstone, was not immune to straying. Court documents surfaced indicating a sealed divorce proceeding initiated by Lisa shortly before their disappearance. This revelation ignited rumors. Was the family's vanishing act an escape from escalating domestic turmoil? Or was it something far darker?